Good morning. Welcome to Satsang. It's interesting to see that, for example, in difficult times or in big challenges, when one feels helpless, naturally, there are always exceptions, of course, naturally one will pray God, will address something to a higher power. It's natural. It's human. And in Satsang, the proposition is not to question if there is a God or not, is to question who you are. Who am I who wants to pray? Who am I who doesn't want to pray? And that direction is obvious when there is nobody there, when the I lost its real, absolute reality. In fact, that's the proposition of Satsang. Find yourself, just see who you are, and the life will express as it has to express for yourself, with the introduction of space for what is, which is not in the phenomenal world. The phenomenal world can arise because of what I am, which cannot be described and formed. So it is that too, but if one is fixed or hypnotized by a form, it will be fixed and hypnotized by time and space. So it will be in the grip of time and space. It will go and disappear. Anyway, any question, anything to share about that? Or around that subject? Welcome. So you have nothing to say. How come? It's a subject, you know, which is quite a subject, because you hear from any source different ways to say. Maybe one direction fits you better, but then what? You don't have experiences about that, or why are you so quiet? And if it is so, it's amazing. But you know, it has to be real. It has to be. Is it possible? Are we in a group of rishis? I would love it. Why not? But then it's unheard, I tell you. Yes.
It reminds me.
There is a
It reminds me, Jacques Brel.
Jacques Brel.
Yeah, he said, I know I will have fear. I will fear death.
Fur?
I will be scared of death.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
He said a sentence like that.
Yeah, I'm not
And it
surprised.
reminds me that when I was thinking that I was dying, I
Uh-huh.
didn't pray anybody, I think,
Oh, oh.
but I realized that I was scared. I, I don't know. I was scared of living more than dying because I didn't know anything about dying.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody knows actually. We just invent. You know what? We know that nothing will work in this body or in the mind, and all that stops. But more than that, and that's scary in the sense because our life is based on that, huh? On the working of this body and
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah.
So the unknown is scary. But if you can know the unknown just now, if you can know the unknown just now, because what is referred by the unknown, maybe not a concept you have about it, but it looks very much, it's a description of what you are.
The unknown is more related of the attachment of the maybe is we jump in that concept of unknowing, but is more related with the attachment of body mind. I think
Yeah. We want that to be prolonged. Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. That is the human condition and the human wish and hope and whatnot. That's why there is a search at some point, because we see this we cannot avoid. We have no power to fix that ephemerity of things.
But other day I was talking with my sister about that, and in some sense we are not conscious of that. It's something that
Yeah, happily, that's how we can live. Huh? The nature offers this so that we can live. Otherwise, you will be obsessed all the time.
yeah. But we postpone always that kind of conscience. Even if I thought of myself, it's like it's never happened. It will never happen in some sense.
But you know very well that it will happen.
We
Otherwise,
know
you would
very
not.
well in some sense, but in other sense, it's like if it was never happened.
Yeah, because we are attached to the life and it continues. Yeah, sure, sure. This is the human mechanism, automatism, to go on with for the life, with the life, whatever knowledge we have about our temporality. But it doesn't mean that a certain search can rise to wondering about, but that strange mystery of the creation. This looks so much. You can give so many answers to that. One of them would be this absurdity of life. Where is the meaning of it if we die, etc., etc.? That's part of the search. Huh? And slowly, slowly, how you get quieter, not by having so many good answers, actually. It's when the one who thinks he's born can question himself and sees, oh, if I can question this I think I am, it means there is maybe something else that I cannot grasp, from where I can question. And then I hear in Satsang, for example, that's what I am. That's what I am, but no more as a human being. That's the background of everything. And it looks like it gives kind of I would say tranquility in the life at least. No, don't ask me about that. I'm not there, so I cannot speak.
But I think that keen conscience of dead,
The what?
that keen conscience of dead
Can
must be can be a good fuel for.
It is. It is a fuel of the search, sure.
Because I remember that
Okay.
Tibetans give a lot of importance to that on the study. And
Yeah, no.
there's a group that even nighttime they turn the ball, not knowing that if the other day they will be alive. It's just
But they
to.
believe in it? They really believe that the turning
I
the
think
bo-
so. And they have a name. They are
Yeah.
the Kadampas. I read that. I never met them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think they must believe or try to believe.
You know, there are so many ways to trying to overcome our fears. That's a big fear, huh? And so on. Satsang is part of this place where you think you solve the biggest problem of the humankind. If it is true or not, this is not up to me to say. Just that I know that, for example, that search can go, the search of to find a meaning or to fear of that. I don't know about that. You know, I'm old, but I'm not yet there, so it doesn't speak that much to me. It was more about absurdity for me. But whatever, you know, is troubling you, you can be quietened when you see that everything is an happening, and as it is said, our real nature is a background where there is no happening. So if you realize that, maybe you are quietened down even in the life. I don't know more.
But because I talk about Jacques Aurel, okay, I'm talking in English. It reminds me also Jean Ferrat. There's a song that he said some words.
Maybe you should sing?
That, I'm not a singer, but he said, que serais-je sans toi?
Oh, but that was very romantic.
Non, mais je l'applique à vous.
Okay, we have a romantic relation then. But you know, then what? Doesn't matter. If the object of your romance.
It's not a kind of romance, it's a kind of honor. Que
No, but
serais-je sans
you
toi?
know, I like to joke also.
Yeah, that's good. You can joke. Me too, I like.
Maybe it is the last declaration that I have, you know.
That's it. That's it. Que serais-je sans toi qui vends à ma rencontre?
Oh là là. Okay.
Que serais-je sans toi qu'un cœur au bois dormant?
You took a good coffee this morning, or what? Yes, yes. We need support. And sometimes not. Sometimes you are just quiet in yourself. But when you are not quiet, surely you need the support. So choose well the support. Nothing wrong. It's like that. But you see, if a support is a support because it indicates to be freed from forms and names. So if that support disappears, dies, let's say, we spoke of death, then it's not that you will be lost, because you will yourself realize what you loved or in your support. Otherwise you could have loved some other things, some other body. So yeah, a support which helps you to free yourself of all the questions a human can ask, you know. Without giving answers, this is the very strange thing. It is by making disappear the absolute reality of my birth. But I see it so very interesting that there are many teachings, even, you know, in the Christianity, in the Middle Age, or I don't know, even, they had always a skull on their a desk, not to forget about the ephemerity of things. So in all teachings you have this preoccupation, this remind yourself of futility is this life after all, and so on. But what I found amazing is that actually, how can you solve that except with tremendous discipline and practice of detachment and all that, which may not even solve the thing. So what I am amazed to see that to be able to question the one who is fear of death, or who is this one who is, you know, born, to question the subject is very rarely indicated. And I find it is only here that considerations about all this creation, no creation, drop, they disappear. Yeah.
Then the thing is to solve the I before we die.
Maybe.
Or try to solve the I.
when we die, that you have been preoccupied or not by the question, maybe it's the same, for everybody. It's just because it's like a poisonous little worm in our spirit heart to search and to try to find out what's what. Otherwise, even those who don't have that, they will die. Where they will go? In fact, they will go nowhere. Huh? It's all the same for everybody. The body stop to function, if it is so. Now there are many, of course, consideration about the thoughts reincarnating and all that, but all that happens in the manifestation. But the real, even a free being, he leaves behind thoughts. Then what? So I think it's the same for everybody. The only problem is in the life, if you have that cuckoo search, and you cannot do otherwise. You try to quit, to forget sometimes, it comes back. So it has to be solved. That's why for me, you see, the consideration you have to be careful to, at the time of death, to be prepared not to have a thought of frivolity or whatever, for me doesn't count. Then what? Even we leave thought behind, that's what I say. Even a free being, he leaves what belonging to its life and which was still pending, not burned or whatever. Then what? It's not somebody who is free, as I think. No, for me, all this, I consider, where is it? I consider it a lot, all those questions, of course. I don't say that everybody has to do the same, but I come to this conclusion that just if needed in you, solve this your search, any search anyway, but also this search, because otherwise it troubles your life. And anyway, you may have a troubled life, but you have like a refuge because of solving this. But you know what's what in the end. You know, you don't have much illusions about concepts and all that. But for everybody it's the same.
Have you ever seen that it's not the same thing for each being dies in different manner? Some popular, the Portuguese at least they say, some are peaceful and some turn into their own. Have you seen that?
Some more peaceful people than others?
Everybody dies in a different manner.
Oh yeah, sure.
And some are peaceful and some...
Yeah, sure.
But have you seen it?
I have seen.
Okay.
I have seen. But in the end, when this attitude of somebody, let it be quite peaceful or let it be tormented, it stops. No, that's not the dying. That is dying. It's not yet the death.
Yes.
So when one is dead, then what? Everybody goes to the same.
This I don't know.
Nor me, but... it's very possible.
Sometimes I was joking, playing with that, with friends that was, they were sick.
Oh.
They were sick and I was playing the prayers of the healer.
And praying.
Sometimes before that I lost the communication And after that, the communication comes again. Then,
Yeah, but I mean, all that is in the realm
yes, yes.
of the manifestation. You can believe in spirit or think of spirits and this and that. I don't deny and I don't go there because for me, whatever manifestation shows up, it's a manifestation. And in my life with that search, I found peace when I am no more busy with any manifestation. Even though they may trouble me in my personal life, but somewhere in me, I know what is what. And so it cannot, it doesn't have this belief of absoluteness, you know? But that's what to say. Everybody has to live his life and will maintain whatever he wants and so on. I mean, so all this talk is
all this talk because you introduced that subject.
introduce the subject. No, I insist on telling that we will, even if we elaborate because of experiences, because of findings, thing, and all, we elaborate a lot of amazing teachings which explain so many things and all that, but it's always about the creation. So, what quietened me, and I guess not only me, is to see suddenly, oh, it will never be with a perfect answer or explanation of all this to be at peace. It will be when I question the subject, is this subject always here? And if he's not always here, it means it's part of the manifestation, and from where suddenly I could realize that that's what is. And it looks like, I translate this way, I don't know even if it is good, but the background of everything, it's not personal. What to say? That's why everybody can have a voice, you know, and has a voice to tell things and all that. So everybody tells what is the best or what they found the best for themselves. Now it's up to one to see what fits better himself. Huh?
Fundamentally, then the subject doesn't exist. It's a conceptual creation.
What doesn't exist?
The subject,
Ah,
I, doesn't exist. It's a conceptual creation. And all the thing is around that conceptual creation.
yeah. Now when you live, you will not always live remembering that.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. But if you have a split second of to be out of the objective world, you see that, yeah. Sure. But you see, it's not an answer given to someone. This is the thing. It's that's why it can be. That's why it removes that deep search, the search of what's what.
Morning,
Good
Ganga.
morning.
I'm not so sure if this is a question or something I wish to express, listening what you have said. Um, in the beginning of this journey, there was a seeker who wanted to be enlightened, whatever
Yeah.
that means.
Yeah.
So he had all these practices and teachings which preoccupied the
Yeah.
life. And now
Yeah.
it come to see that it's always been itself. So there's no need of a transformation,
Mm-hmm.
or so then, but then all these practices and things they're not interesting. So the preoccupation in daily
Yeah.
life has fallen away,
Yeah.
and quite a lot in this
Mm-hmm.
being, as if I can say like that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, because I heard you say that it wouldn't trouble it, because it doesn't. But sometimes now, what little bit troubles is, shouldn't you be doing something, or because nothing really interests anymore. And sometimes that thought would go away. But that's the only thing that would.
But you give the meaning you want in
Mm.
this life, even if you know it's relative.
Mm.
If you like, you can make a practice. Why not? Because today okay, it is to have an activity, and I love that activity. It gives me maybe better moods or whatever, and you do it, but you don't do it now. I don't know, I assume, and you tell me. You do not do it now to search yourself.
True.
So there is nothing wrong. We have to do something in this life, sure.
No, thank
Oh,
you.
yes, some people don't do anything, but it's not really true. There is always something to do. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing with the practice is that they promise you that you will find yourself. But now you can do the same. Why not? Some people love to do yoga. In the beginning it was to be enlightened, and after they somehow see maybe not like that. But they still love to do yoga. No problem. It's a question of what you put in it. Don't be deluded.
No.
That's all.
Thank you.
Finally, you can do something.
Yes.
Okay, you will be, yeah, nice. You thought you were obliged not to do anything.
No, but nothing came. For what? Doing for what? It's
But I must say, you look very happy to be able to do something.
it's true.
Also, we have a life. It's not like to have realized yourself will fix your life. It's not really like that. It fixes the thing that you don't search about that. Okay, about that you are totally quiet, but life continues. And in life, not everybody has a quiet life or a non-doing life. So there you can always have interest to explore this life. But what is different, I find, is that you know very well what it reaches and what is what. And that is a great, it's very peaceful to know that. Just do what attracts you to do or what you need to do in your life. But it's about the life. It's about me in the life. Because it appears, no? It appears so. There everybody is free to do whatever, you know.
Hello, Ganga.
Hello.
Um, when somebody asked me this morning how I was, I answered, I'm better than yesterday. And I was like, oh, wow. I was really grateful. And yeah, then I thought about yesterday, and I have one part of my life is quite challenging at the moment, and I had one of these situations yesterday, and I felt like I was about to faint or to die or whatever, and I was so helpless. And which I realized today, which I also know is like, okay, it's a non-permanent, like what you always say also is like, it's non-permanent, it's a situation, but still, I wonder, and I don't know if you have the answer for me, but when I'm in such a challenging situation, I can, like, what you say today and what I hear, and it's like, I can feel it, I can, like, it's all, I understand, it's like I'm relaxed, but in this situation, I'm like, I feel like there's nothing that I can take in these moments that helps me. It's just like I feel completely
washed away by the thing. Yes, that's life.
Yeah.
That's the life, and that may not change. It's some events are more intense than others, but that is in everybody's life. So, of course, when you are confronting, I don't know if I have any answer, I just say, when you are confronted in intense situation, for example, you become so identified that you cannot be busy with something else. So you just there have to face, as you learn all those things yourself, or you just know also that it will go on changing, but it doesn't mean you have not to go into your emotions. It's someone, is me in that event who lives that, Now, after that, it depends, but after that, if there is, let's say, a relaxation about that event, if there was a search of, but where I was, who am I in fact, then suddenly you may investigate differently. You may investigate then, who am I in fact? Not in the temporality. And there you may have an answer, or you still may have no answer. But you see, what to say. I don't know if it will help you, but for some reason, I solved the search of who am I in fact, okay? So I am quietened about it. No, it doesn't mean that my life is always quiet. So some people, they don't speak like this, I know. They always say, my life changed so much, it's only paradise and all that. It's not my case. And I don't regret also. It's like that. So you have to face what's going on, but then it happens to the one who has his circumstances. It doesn't mean that you suffer less, but it gives you, maybe you feed less. Means, okay, you express whatever has to be expressed. You cannot do otherwise. And then you are freed from that. You may search in your life some solutions to face those things in a better way. That's possible. It's given also. But I think nobody can avoid happenings.
Yeah, I think in these moments, I can see it now, it's probably that if we talk about this like observer, for me it's probably, I would wish the observer to like, ah yeah, look there, you just washed away a little bit, or
You
just
can do
washed
that when it's not strong.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, so it has no absolute value.
Yeah, I think I'm probably looking, for.
But everybody, all the humans, who wants to have a confronting event? This is the wish of the human, to be happy, to be, and always happy. And you know? And that's what we learn with the search also. Okay, so who am I? Okay, it doesn't change much the life. And what's life? Ups and downs. Ups and downs. I mean, it's true. Some people, I will give the example, the classic example of Ramana Maharishi, but who knows? Huh? He had a quieter life, but himself, he was born with so little requirements. It looks, he didn't make a family, he didn't make this, he didn't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. And, I mean, it looks like. So, less you have relations, probably easier it is. But you, yet, yeah, but it is safe to have a relation with an animal. You have unconditional love, and so. No, I just, you know. Well, so I didn't reply to you. I just described what you already know. Except that I may add, I may add that maybe you can introduce in your life this question, but who is so much troubled?
Who is so much trouble?
Yeah, at some point when you can, because when you can. And maybe any answer will not do. So you remain freed from answers and questions afterwards. What to say?
Yeah, thank you. I knew there was no whatever answer. I think I just wanted to express to
Yeah,
become a
no,
little
but
bit
it's
more.
good. It's good. I mean, what else?
Thank you, Ganga.
Please, Bianca. You know, all those golden carrots which are offered by the teachings, they have their role at some point. It's needed, but I am not going to give one because it doesn't stay. It's for me life. What is life? It's duality. It appears as dual. That's why it appears. How can it be always on the top and maybe like this? But only those who are born, that's what I said. Maybe they are born with less desires, attachments, whatnot. So they are just monkly. The others are monkey, and those are monkly beings in a just natural way. Yeah? You need this, otherwise we don't hear well.
Once I visit my mother, sometimes I visit my mother, often. And once I visit her, and she confessed she was very sick.
Mm.
And in the conversation, we went somewhere, and she told me, "You know, my son, now I'm happy. And you know why? Because I accept it."
Mm.
So I think sometimes in the extreme of the suffering,
Yeah,
it
and
happens
when it's the
acceptance.
end of your life, because otherwise, you know, you have a full life ahead, and so you will not speak like this.
It's why I talk. It
It's
was my
a
mother.
natural wisdom of the human. There is also a natural wisdom of the human. You know, in the village, sometimes someone is recognized that, oh, this is a wise guy. But it's about life. It's about life, which is great. I mean, it's great. Now, if one is in satsang, what he will ask, who is accepting? But I don't want to trouble her. If she's happy like this, it's perfect. But for someone, for example, it will be, I know already and I know we cannot be always happy. So it makes sense to ask, who is happy? Eventually. I think it's the last question you can ask. The root of all questions, myriads, billion, I don't know what to say, all those questions of.
And it reminds me, once I thought I was really going to die in some hours or some days, and something come to me, some thought come to me. Why are you afraid? Of what?
Hmm.
Relax.
But that's the answers, the wise answers of the human.
It happened. Okay.
But it doesn't last. It does?
But it was good for the moment.
No, I agree. It's wisdom. I agree.
No, it's not a solution for our life, though, in that sense. But it stays there, at least that.
You have your tools. Yeah. But it's your approach to life. You found something good for you. That will be different for everyone, sure, or not. And it is valuable, sure. No doubt about that. But you see, if you have this poisonous urge, but is there a God? Is there a something? What they mean by emptiness and all that? It will never help to solve that question, all those tricks and tools. But it doesn't matter if you don't have that search. But if you have that search, you have to come to see that in the end, you have to question the subject and not how to live better. But it's not an obligation also. That search is there or not, and it doesn't matter.
I think if you have that indication, in those moments, maybe you have the courage to put the question.
Remind yourself. If you have seen clearly that for you actually it speaks, it talks to you, remind yourself.
Mm, there was a time that I was really very afraid of the death.
Mm-hmm.
And not only my own death, but also the death of my beloved. And then I also started to discover that the fear was related to being completely thrown to yourself. It's not, the mind didn't offer any support.
Mm-hmm.
And those moments of seeing it's not about solving it in the mind, that created say the power of the moment, or I don't know how to say it. And now during this morning, I realized that took away the fear for a future death.
Uh-huh.
So, because it will be always that you have to be alone with it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing to be feared about it, to be really alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Lucky you are.
Yes.
At the beginning, when I met you,
Yeah.
you said you can never experience it, you can never understand it, you can never know it, you can never. And I found this quite revolting.
And today?
And today, I just want to thank you that I don't need an answer.
Oh, wow.
The question, who am I, is the only question that frees me of my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And that allows me to be just quiet and
Mm-hmm.
not to want an answer, but just to be quiet.
Mm.
And that's all. I don't want more. Just quiet. Oh, this.
Yeah, this is quite a cocoa. Yeah.
Old age.
Well.
Thank you.
I really thank to have been able to hear that myself. Otherwise, one will always get busy how to fix, how to fix things and all that, which is, of course, you have to fix things in this life most of the time. But to know that there is an availability, a space to also drop the needs that it is in certain way. And that is what Satsang tries to indicate.
This is it.
Yeah. And I'm happy for you. I mean, what to say? Yeah. So that's why I think it is very important to be clear that the life, you cannot fix uncertainty, or you can also fix, but I mean, uncertainty of life will always go on, more or less bearable and so on, of course. But it's another space which is touch what you expressed, you see. It is something else, we cannot even say much more, which doesn't fix the uncertainty of the life. It's still there. But for some reason, it looks essential to have solved that too, you see. And the rest goes on. Yes.
It's possible
Yes.
that we can be able to deal with the subject without coming to satsang.
Yes. And the place where you deal it is satsang.
And the place
Where you can deal it is satsang.
you can deal it. Leave it.
Leave it.
I leave it.
You are wherever you are, huh? Wherever you go. That is a discovery. Whatever I do, whatever I don't do, whatever I suffer, whatever I don't suffer, I am. That removes the deep anxiety of this deep feeling of the human being to be separate. There is a lack of something, I'm never satisfied, and this and that. That removes it. Now the rest continues. Sure. There is a story which I transform. It's a classical story of a yogi who was a yogi all his life, so it means living on with very little and not having desires and that. And in his old age, very old age, suddenly a deer appeared, which was young and abandoned, so he had pity and started to give food and to be attached to the deer. So when he died, his last thought was, who will take care of my deer? And it's given as an example of, you see, be careful with your last thought, because otherwise you reincarnate, etc., etc. I don't see things like this. I see things, it's just human. It's just human to have even a last thought about someone you love. But you know very well that death happens in this manifestation, and you have seen before who you are. So what's the problem? why one should change the human condition? You can't. Even if you try, you can't. That yogi tried so much not to have a thought like this in his last breath. He had one. In fact, doesn't matter. But if people think it matters, then a full teaching in a certain way is given and all that for me, which has no value because things will happen up to the last. Yes. And sometimes it may happen that you have not a thought or you have a thought of home, but you know, you cannot decide. It's not up to you. And it doesn't matter, because the dead, to whom it happens, the dead? To somebody. And you have seen, I am not only somebody. Ah. I will tell stories differently. How can you fix this manifestation? Who are you? Who are you, we, to fix this manifestation? What appears is already that. It's done. It doesn't wait for us to change something. Anyway, I shut up.
And from a certain moment, I must put that question. From a certain moment, it can be a lack of courage to continue to come to satsang.
If you feel so, then it must be.
I'm not feeling anything. Otherwise, I would not put that. You know why I put this question?
Tell me.
No, I'm asking first if you know. If you know, I don't need to tell you.
Because you still question a lot. And
No. Something is confusing me on that thing.
You know, it's like some people are in satsang since quite 30 years and so. And of course their friends said, "What? This morning you still go to satsang? You have not yet understood." So some would say, "Yeah, I've not yet understood." But often they will say, "It's not that I didn't understand, but I love the space. I love it. Because it gives me a moment." Like me, why do I give satsang? It's not only because there is a demand. It's also for me. I want to give myself a moment free, more than a split second, in my life to it. Because I know this life, if you don't have satsang, it's all right. But the life is quite busy. You know, it builds all the time. So, or you offer yourself, you decide, okay, now I spend 1 minute for this, or there is a satsang somewhere and then it's easier. You just be there and you are quiet. So what I wanted to say, yeah, and for some people, they don't need it because they don't need to learn more and they may be totally fine where they live, not coming to satsang. But some, they just like it. So why not? Even, especially if it is just near your door. You know? So I don't think there each one has to see for himself.
I've listened from you
Ah.
that your master has said, from that moment you don't need to come to satsang.
No, you don't need.
Need.
But it's not a need. You may come because you love it. Love is not a need in this case. I love it. It's not that I need anymore. I love it. It's just, or I feel it's important. It's important to give some time to this. Since I dedicated my life to this, I should do something with that. I will not throw it like that. All a life dedicated to this, and then what? Not giving a space after to that? But it can be done anywhere, as I said. But if there is satsang, it's easier maybe, just to come. But there is no rule, huh? It's everybody's that.
I came here to put this question, to be true.
Ah. And I must say, to speak of myself, if there was no satsang, I would not express. Why should I express? There is nothing to say if I am by myself, you know. And it's not lacking of something. There is just nothing to say. But I also enjoy sometimes what is expressed out. It's fresh, it's new. I enjoy sometimes.
I think I cannot separate satsang from you.
Then come, basta. Let's not make it complicated.
I just put it the most easier for me.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.